Welcome to Doorway to the Paintings in this latest edition. I have a very nice painting to show you. Really a nice painting. It's one of my favorites. Storybook time, and yeah, it really reminds me of some of the old fairy tales and storybooks that I seen and grew up with when I was a kid, that a lot of us probably grew up with, especially people my age. I'm 43 and I was born in 77, so a lot of people probably grew up with either this type or similar types of storybook art, at least the art part of it. Yeah, it's a very enchanting, pleasant painting. I really like this painting. It's pleasant. It's he's playing a flute here, and you can see the musical notes, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I really like this painting. It's pleasant. It's peaceful. It captures the imagination. It kind of takes you into that storybook realm, that fairy tale realm. So, yeah, I'm excited about this one. I really like it. So let's get started. Beautiful colors, I have to say. I think it really captures what I wanted to capture, that fairy tale kind of look. Nice crisp colors. You have the grass as well. It's nighttime, but it's still a bluish type sky. This painting, one beautiful thing about it is there's a lot of impressionism in it, and you can just let your imagination run wild with that. I like the shape of the trees. Here, let's take a look at one of the trees from top to bottom. Really cool. Not to toot my own horn, but this is... I really like the shape of the trees. Gives them a lot of style and character. It matches the whole storybook angle I was going on this. The moon has got so much character. Again, a sleeping face. I often do that with the moons in my paintings. Just a nice outline. Got the light around it indicating that it's bright. A bright moon with this light. And a nice design around the moon itself. Really like that. It really adds a lot to the painting. It's pleasant. And of course you have the castle. And I exaggerated a lot in this painting. One of the things I exaggerated was the character. The character's probably too tall for the door. He could probably crawl inside. But that's the whole point of this painting. It's exaggerated to give it more style, more character. I really enjoyed painting this because I could just use my imagination much more than if I was painting strict reality and nothing else. The grass looks kind of real. There's realism in the grass. And some in the trees, but mostly this is impressionism. Get the full view of it here. Goes along good with my other storybook paintings at Storyland. The design of the stars with all the different shapes makes it more interesting. It's almost like a dream. And I chose a purplish color, primarily purple, for the castle. Wanted to make this full of color. Nice purple, makes it more relaxing and comfortable. He's playing a flute. Let's take a look at this guy close up. Playing that flute. I used an ink pen for the musical notes, so it would be kind of shiny. If I tilt the painting, you could see him shine. See the shine? It gives you kind of a shine when you're walking around around the room. When you're walking around the room looking at it, it gives it a shine. I think it makes a real nice effect. He's got an interesting elfish type hat with a little design on the end right there. He could fit into a lot of different paintings where it's a fairy tale theme. Yeah, maybe he could put people to sleep with that music. Maybe put you into a deep dream with that music. Maybe he can choose the dream that you're gonna dream. You never know. Late at night, you hear his music and you're under his spell. Who knows? The door, I gave it an interesting shape. I didn't want much to be real in this painting. Just real enough so you know what things are. But beyond that, beyond giving it a little realism and some structure so you know what things are, it's just impressionism. It was enjoyable to paint, but it took me time. It took me 2 or 3 hours if I remember. It's a little hard to remember because I think it was about 7 years ago when I did this. It's funny, every time I paint a painting where someone's playing a musical instrument, I always think of Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder. That was really, all the actors in there did a good job. This has got nothing to do with Frankenstein, except for the castle and then the musical instrument. But that was a fiddle, I believe, in Young Frankenstein. Every time I paint someone with an instrument, though, I kind of think of that. I can almost hear the music in my head. Well, look at that. He even put the moon to sleep. That's the first time I had that thought. Yeah, it's a really, really charming painting. The stars and the different shapes and the configurations and their different tracks, their directions. Yeah, different designs. I like mixing it up. And then the musical instruments is a nice, or the musical notes coming out of the instruments, a nice touch. I wanted to make the window extra small. This again, I mean, it's exaggerated. It gives it a lot of style, but it also gives it kind of like that 11th, 12th, 13th century look where things are off. But that's the beauty of it. It gives it more character, more style. I really like it. I might dream about this tonight. Who knows? At least it won't be a nightmare. I hope not. Green. I think green goes really good with this guy. The green color, I use that in quite a few of my paintings, on quite a few of my characters. I imagine this is his castle. He's living out here alone. Probably maybe a nearby village or someone can hear this music, but he enchants people who hear it. I don't know, maybe that's how he puts them in a trance or under their spell, or maybe he influences their dreams. There's all kinds of ways that you can take this painting. The door's got that little handle on there and the little bolts that keep the door together, and the door's not quite big enough for him, but he got in there, and I wanted that to be exaggerated. He's a master of that instrument. Him and the moon. But yeah, this has a lot in it. I know I mentioned in other videos too that Jack and the Beanstalk, seeing that story, having it read to me, and then reading that book that I had when I was a little kid, that inspired me quite a bit with the whole fairy tale genre. I never thought about it, but based on the dimensions of the castle and the way he looks, he could be a giant. But that was never my plan. My plan was just to exaggerate him, make him look bigger than the castle without really thinking about technically him being a giant. I just wanted it this way because I like the look. I think it gives it style and character quite a bit. Reminds me of that older art. Yeah, I like having moons in my paintings because you can do a lot with the moon. Whether you put faces in the moon, you put clouds next to it, or if it's just clear like this and then you have light surrounding it, there's sure a lot you can do with the moon. It adds a lot to your paintings. Not every painting needs a moon. In fact, I think most of my paintings don't have moons, but it adds, just as long as you handle it right. And this one has a lot of character, so I'm glad I dropped it in the painting. It's a nice touch. The trees have style. What's beyond the trees? What's over the hill? It's not very thick, but maybe the forest gets thicker when you walk in a different direction. And to Never Never Land, who knows? But yeah, it's almost like a dream. It stimulates my mind, and I know it was that way when I was painting it too. Really enjoyed it. You'll remember this one, how it fits in. It's kind of the same genre, the fairy tale look. Yeah, I can go right together with that one. I have others like this too. I'll have to make episodes about that in the future. At least that was my plan. I have a few of them, so I'll be looking forward to that. I like this genre. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this painting. If you like this video, subscribe and like, and when it's late at night, when the moon is up, I'll probably be back with another video after midnight. Take care and have a good night, everybody.